Brothers and sisters, Father Jared Cooke here. I wish I could stand here before you and simply say that I have no words. But I do have a few. Please hear me when I say I will stand wholeheartedly and defend my faith until Jesus comes back or until my dying breath, whichever comes first. But I cannot and I will not defend my church or our leaders ever against all of the allegations that have come out these past few years, not to mention the most recent earth-shattering and faith-rocking revelations dealing with Archbishop McCarrick and the Pennsylvania grand jury report. I cannot and I will not defend these heinous, despicable, disgusting, immoral, and dare I say, evil acts against the laity, seminarians, of which I was one for 9 years. Most importantly, children. But I do feel called to apologize on behalf of these sad, broken men whom I don't even know. Nonetheless, they are my brothers in the priesthood and in ministry. And so, I apologize from the bottom of my heart for what some of my brothers have done, for how they've affected all of us, but most importantly, how they have affected the victims and their families. And for how many of these victims and their families have had to live in the shadows, in the lies, and in the darkness for years. And have had to deal with the aftermath. It's tragic. And it's painful to even try to comprehend. My heart and my prayers go out to them. On a personal note, though, my conscience is clear and steadfast. I am not a priest of some system. I am a priest of Jesus Christ himself. That is who I was ordained to be just over a year ago. A priest of Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, the bread of life who came down from heaven, as the Gospels these past several weeks have focused on. I am a priest of Jesus Christ, the King of kings and the Lord of lords, our great high priest himself. And because of what some of my brother priests and our so-called shepherds, both living and deceased, have done and have perpetrated over the years, hear me when I say I feel ashamed. I feel embarrassed. And perhaps like you, I also feel confused. I feel betrayed. I feel punched in the gut. I feel a little bit lost as to what to think and what to feel. And I must admit that when the ad nauseum media reports began to roll in this past week and kept rolling in, attached with dramatic and colorful, mostly warranted commentary galore, I just wanted to crawl under a rock. My own faith as a priest of Jesus Christ, mind you, was rocked harder than ever before. And I was even tempted, brothers and sisters, to give up hope, to give in to despair. And you know what? Full disclosure, I did. For a quick minute. And then I did the only thing that I knew to do in moments like these. I entered into prayer and I yelled at God. He can take it. Trust me, he can take it. It's more fruitful to vent to God than anyone else or any social media platform, right? Now, of course, I felt terrible for yelling at God and I immediately apologized, but then again, God Almighty can take both. He can take a verbal lashing from one of his upset children, but he can also take a sincere apology. I guarantee you, he's happy when we come to him even in our grief and our anger. Brothers and sisters, let me not mince words. Our church is in crisis. And we need action. And we need healing more than anything. Action and healing. The first step is to admit the problem. publicly and loudly for all to hear. Admit and acknowledge that the evil one has infiltrated some hearts and some minds in the clergy and has led them to perpetrate his evil acts against God's children. The least of these who are God's most precious and innocent. That is step one. Admit it, acknowledge it, then be bold, and then eradicate it. Brothers and sisters, I have a feeling that this will get worse before it gets better. So I have a feeling that we're in for some trying days, some trying months, and probably years. But brothers and sisters, I beg of you to take heart. Take heart. Let me remind us all that although the devil may have his day, the gates of hell shall not prevail. That was the promise. And indeed they shall not. But when evil begins knocking harder and harder at our doors, brothers and sisters, when the devil's prowl gets a little closer to home, we have a choice to make. We open the door to it, or we reject that knock. Not today, Satan. We lock that door, we slide up a chair behind it, and we get behind God Almighty. Choose wisely, because we're put in this predicament each and every day. And if you choose the prior, choose it at your own risk. Remember, brothers and sisters, also, each and every one of us has his or her own guardian angel to protect us every second of every day. When was the last time we acknowledged, much less engaged in that reality that you have a guardian angel? Some of you may even have two. Talk to them. Ask them to protect you. Activate this gift from God. They're there for you. You don't do this on your own. Have you seen the great 90s film, Angels in the Outfield? You know, where they're flapping their hands from the stands? You know when Danny Glover's character says you got an angel with you right now? Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you the same. You have an angel with you. Don't forget that. Acknowledge that. Go to them. Use them. Form a relationship with them. We're not in this fight alone. Not only that, brothers and sisters, but when the gates of hell try pressing in on us, and in our fatigue and our brokenness and our tiredness, we're ready to give up. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. What should we do? Might I submit, you just fall. Just fall. Fall into the arms of Jesus, because he too is with us. He's in front of us. He's beside us. And he's most definitely got our backs. So just fall into his arms and rest. In addition to that, brothers and sisters, we've got Mama. We've got Mama. And keeping in mind that our Blessed Mother, who is known as the head crusher of the devil, the fact that she is on the front lines fighting for us on our behalf and protecting us, we got to cling to her. We've got to cling to her. Our prayer daily should be that our Blessed Mother cover us and our families with the mantle of protection. Woe to those of us who do not go to our Blessed Mother. She is powerful, and she is the one who crushes the head of Satan. Hail Mary, full of grace, kick that devil in the face. Brothers and sisters, I know that our church is in crisis right now with all of these allegations, with all that has come out, but I beg of you, do not let this steal your faith away from you, because that is the work of the enemy. Do not let the sins of man deter you away from your faith, because our faith is not in man, but in the divine God made man, Jesus Christ. He is the reason for every season. He is the reason we got up today. He is the reason we are here. He is the reason for that breath that you just took. He is the reason why the gates of hell will not ultimately prevail. Let us never forget the reason why we believe what we believe. Because he gave his life for you and for me. And he continues to nourish us from the table of sacrifice with his most sacred body and his most precious blood. In times like these, times of crisis, times of rocky faith in many brothers and sisters, these are the moments in time, historically even, when the greatest of saints arise. These are the moments when our mandate to be a small yet steady light in the darkness of the world, and to be a true disciple of Jesus, and to be a warrior for our faith, these are those moments when that mandate gets magnified, and the call on our hearts gets stronger. It's in these moments that we should pray like we've never prayed before. It's in these moments that we should fast. We should examine our own consciences. We should adjust things that need adjusting, and we should cling to God with everything we've got. It is time to be saints and to be Christ's voice in a world of sin and depravity, even if it means standing against the violations of our own. I want to be a saint. Do you?